have all come down to this one for that ticket to the Manila Major. Whilst Ramsey is going to be bringing out.
10 seconds.
Is he going to fall back on his Spectre pick?
5 seconds remaining.
They certainly could. There's always that potential. I don't think I've ever seen him play safe lane void, no. No. Ooh. I wonder if we can go back to kind of the gyro. I love Ramsey's gyro, but it really seems like they just don't feel that this is the patch to play it in anymore.
Gyrocopter!
Oh! Here we have it. I love it. I absolutely love it. What a way to finish this off. Empire. Ramsey's gyro. It's such a delight to watch. I'm glad that they're pulling this one out here. I mean, as I said, it's not really their go-to at this moment in the patch, but he is so bloody good on this hero. Let's have it.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, this is great. This is great. I can't wait to see what happens and pick up in return. It's going to be what, the Rim Ranger. Okay. Thug Rim Ranger. It's another playmaking hero that he's very, very good on. This is going to be an absolutely incredible game. I can tell it already, Andy. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can sense it. Well, I don't know about that, Andy. Maybe 90. You just want to see people die, suffer, Andy. Oh, okay. This is going to be incredibly high. Oh boy. And it's just, you look at the kind of the heroes and the player matches, and we'll go through it in a minute, but
10 seconds remaining.
You know, this finals has been incredibly hype, right up here to the game 5, and the guys, as I said, the kind of the skill of this kind of series that we're seeing, I think it's going to rival some of the matches we see at the Major itself. And here we have it, game 5, and there definitely can't really be a more fitting draft for both sides, and for the heroes that each player is playing. As it looks like Finem have got to take a quick toilet break, but as we say, who can blame them? The length that this series has gone to, certainly been an adventure, and one that's about to come to an end for one team, and one that's going to continue and to going forward to that Manila Major as well. And I was talking earlier about the cash thing as well. That's something to hold in mind as well. If you kind of go back to, I believe, the Shanghai Major, you know, rest in peace, bottom place I think got at least 30k. So this game, you're guaranteeing yourself a bit of the whole gold, which, you know, that's, you know, obviously you can aim higher than that, but just that in itself, cut off from getting nothing to getting yourself a paycheck, is going to be huge for these teams.
Well, not just a paycheck, but a trip, you know, to Manila as well. I mean, even if you place dead last, which I'm not saying either of these teams would if they qualified, but even if that were the case, you know, you still get like a mini vacation of sorts. You get a decent chunk of money, get to hang out. You know, it's an experience regardless. So.
Yeah, it's absolutely, and you know, you get to play in front of a most amazing crowd. And I can tell already. I mean, Empire's already been there. They've already felt the roar of that crowd in Manila. And Finem as well, if they're going to be the ones to take this, I already know the crowd's going to love the kind of play that both of these teams do, because it's just so much fun to watch, and that is what they love there. And Isabel indeed getting a shout out. Well, Skylark there, holding on for the misses. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, because I'm probably going to butcher it.
I don't even know what that means.
Probably going to butcher it. Here we have it. Let's get ourselves in, and let's get ourselves familiarised with the two lineups on the side of Finem from left to right. Here we go. Disruptor. It's going to be, of course, played by the man himself, Spartan, the playmaker. That safe lane carry, Madara on his slug, mid lane Thug, in the man on the Wind Ranger, and the final two for the lineup. It's Skylark on his Starkseer, and not forgetting, maybe next time, looking for the plays across the map on the Spirit Breaker. Over on the side of Empire, Life once again on his Void. Gyrocopter, it's going to be Ramses. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Mid lane Scandal on his back yet again, and it's going to leave us with both King Arn the Lion and Miposhka himself on the Bounty Hunter. The klaxon will sound and Finem. I'll look to secure themselves the top room and then bottom. This is just shout out to Anastasia, and then Ramsey was like, Anastasia?
I don't even know what's happening right now.
This
I don't
could
know
be
if they're
awkward.
actually making up people or if these are...
Well, maybe they share the same girlfriend. You know, Ramsey's like, hang on.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
My girlfriend's also named Anastasia. That would make sense why he was so
It could
angry
be.
earlier, but...
This could bring out the real anger here of this man.
Yeah.
Which is what we want to see. We want to see lots of anger from both sides. Laying into each other, and already Madara punching into Afterlife here. Taking him down a fair good chunk of his health. And as the lanes start to kind of settle down, as we see what we're opening up with, it's pretty much what you'd expect. I mean, this top lane, this very aggressive combination of the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer. Deal with it, they've got the Lion and the Jaro in a mid lane. Thug, 6 stacks of Napalm, he's got to be careful. Miposhka seeing if he could get close in for a touch, but Thug has got to salve out to him. Actually, no, he's not just decided to pop the salve yet. Miposhka actually going to go for a bit of a wraparound. And Thug's just holding on to it. You need to be careful, I mean, one punch there, and Thug nearly going down. Miposhka coming close to the tower. Will pop the salve now, not going to play around anymore on the edge of his life. But yeah, this top lane, so the aggression of a Spirit Breaker and a Darkseer, is a Lion and a Jaro enough to deal with this?
It can be. It depends on how much they split the rocket barrage damage. So at lower levels, obviously it's a little bit worse than it used to be. Slug's are going to continually get kind of harassed here. But if you can isolate one of the heroes and catch him out with the full duration rocket barrage, yeah, you can definitely kill.
Looking at this mid lane as well, you can see that the bullying for this bounty hunter is certainly helping out Scandal. He's 6 for 1 against the 2 for 2 of Thug, so Thug certainly having one of the slower starts that we've seen him have so far in this series. He's normally pretty hot off the mark here in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of rough for Thug because he was getting camped by the bounty for the first 2 waves, forced him to use a salve already. You know, he only has 1 shared tangle left, and Batrider is still... He can be a dominant mid laner just by virtue of stacking Napalm and being able to hit really hard and forcing you back. You know, once you get like 3 or 4 stacked, you can't really stand there anymore. You kind of have to go back. You have to let the debuff reset before you go back in to freely CS again.
On bottom lane, we see Miposhka going on Spartan. They'll actually get the same D-ward on each other at the same time. Fine. Continue to go. This actually laying down a Thunderstruck as well, and Miposhka, I think he'll be alright there with the Tango regen, but nonetheless being forced very, very close to the edge of his life. And, oh, nice bash. Bottom lane though, Madara versus Afterlife, 14 for 1 against the 9 for 1, so Clark still finding the superior farm, but at the same time, Afterlife, he's getting a decent amount here on this offlane board.
Yeah, he really is actually.
So what they can do, they do have a glimpse and a Thunderstrike. Afterlife is trying to play his way around this, pops the Fairy Fire, turning around onto Madara. Miposhka coming with a rotation as well. Afterlife's got to be careful. Miposhka going to start to hit onto Spartan. They'll get the glimpse back. Afterlife, he's still got the Time Walker now, turning with the attention towards Spartan. Realizes he's got to be careful as Madara starting to salve up, and Afterlife and Miposhka will just keep themselves back here. Playing very, very, very much on the edge here, both of them. Manara revving up with a Dark Pack, but not finding an opening to go for. So they'll be able to stabilize the lane a bit. And I'm talking about stabilizing mid lane. 10 for 3 against the 14 for 2. Thug is certainly starting to recover nicely and catch himself back with the level of farm that Scandal's got.
Yeah, he's still got a ways to go before he's on equal terms, but again, the Miposhka Bounty Hunter was a little bit of a nuisance to him, so all things considered, I think he's doing just fine. Oh, top lane.
Oh, indeed, nice done it with the Rocket Barrage as well. They're falling low. They'll try for a charge away, but the Hex is there, and Ramses blames himself. First blood. A beautiful wrap round from the man on the line.
Yeah, getting punished for staying too low on health. There was... Oh god, they're gonna get another one!
Oh my goodness, boys and girls. Double kill for the Gyro.
He had a ward. Didn't King R walk past that before he walked in the gank? I could have sworn he did. That was just a little bit of overextension there from Skylark. I don't know if it's just getting a little bit late or what, but the first one I can kind of understand. You know, the Lion's sitting in the side for a while, you lose track of him, he gets a stun. But the second one, that is definitely a misplay by the Darkseer.
And then there's really isn't a worse hero to give it to on the side of Empire, giving those kills to Ramses on his gyrocopter. I mean, this man, he is incredibly active. If he gets a quick level 6, I mean, 4.5 minutes in, he's already like working his way through level 5. With the cooldown as well, he's going to be looking to make so many plays happen across the map, and you know, putting him against a Slark early on as well, if you get him in that position, it's not a whole lot that the Slark can do against a Gyro that gets a good start.
Yeah, you can't really commit to the fight because you have to worry about eating cooldown and whatnot. You basically have to Shadow Dance immediately just to negate the damage that you would be taking anyway. So yeah, it's rough for sure. Okay, they find Pushka.
Well, let's see if they can take this one down with Thug rotating through as well. They're going to have a good shot at it, and the bash is real.
I'm fantastic.
Pick themselves up a kill here on the board. Very, very dead now. Eyes on Afterlife. Actually already used here the Time Walk, but he'll be able to play it safe with the TP getting himself back to the tower. Nice playing the mid lane. MNT just eyeing up Scandal. Not a lot that they're going to be able to do at the same time. Top lane. King R looking for a cheeky wraparound. This position, trying to go for this here. Ramses still quite far away. And just continue to get the pressure on. There's going to be a charge, in fact, onto the Lion. Ramsey's not quite hitting that level 6 yet. When he does, it's going to be very, very hard really for Finem to achieve that much on this top lane. And one more creep will do it. The cooldown will then be there. And fighting into this gyrocopter is going to just become so hard at this point in the game for Finem.
I don't think you even try to commit to him anymore. It's just too dangerous. Looking to see him potentially like finish up his Aquila, send out a TP, or buy one to the side shop. Yeah, he's even got the full wand on the courier as well. So he is pretty much ready to go right now.
Yep, and he is indeed. Cooldown. He's going to latch into Sky like he did get the surge off. A lockdown to contain the darks here. They're still at the moment. And regardless of the fact that Ramses is doing as well as he is, it's worth noting that Madara is top of the CS board here on the Slark. He is getting a lot of space. He really, really is, and you know, starting to eclipse what the Void was able to find on the offlane. Afterlife's having to play a little bit more safe now. But both cores for each respective team doing very, very well here in the first 7 minutes, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think Empire will be not like pressured in a huge way, but they will feel like they need to do something during the early mid game. Maybe around the time that Scandal gets to his Blink Dagger. Just because of the fact that, you know, Slark in the mid game is not necessarily amazing against Gyro, but the later it goes, and the longer the Slark can stay in the fight, the worse the matchup becomes for the Gyro. Because there will become a stage where he can just sit on you, and then, you know, you're going to die way too fast within the Shadow Dance duration. You won't be able to really do anything in rebuttal. So I feel like Empire are going to want to try to play a little bit more active as time goes on, especially, you know, in conjunction with the track that they'll have eventually Emma Pushka.
And look at this, eyes on Skylark. They're ready to go deep on this one. King R moving in, trying to set up with the Hex. We'll get it off. Ramses is closing down, but the TP reaction gonna hold Empire back.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, Ramses, he gets off the Rocket Barrage, a little bit low on mana. He has got a 5-6-1 charge. Will be dropped, he'll drop the cooldown, but Finem, yeah, with this reaction, they will get the kill onto the Gyrocopter. Pushka, he plays way out of this one. Dust is now going to wear out on him. Just going to go for the TP straight out, and he is going to make it just in time. Gets himself out of there.
That was a ridiculous reaction. Literally all 5 heroes from Finem. Like some TP top tower, some TP to the tier 2. That was ridiculous. I mean, normally you don't see that kind of reaction, like, ever. Like, at least one hero doesn't TP, but that time it was just 5-man Dota.
And it works out. Well, of course, this is going to give space around the map for the side of Empire. Yeah, Afterlife just stuck down bottom. He's able to continue to get really nice progression on his Void. He's level 7. You know, a Chronosphere into the combination of the Gyrocopter at this point. It could be very, very scary for the lineup of Finem. 2-2 at the moment, 9 minutes in. Both teams being very, very careful about being caught off guard. Now Finem with this smoke, maybe seeing if they can set something up on the mid lane. They've got eyes on King R. But now the smoke is going to wear out here, and we can see it. Just look at this line of wards here from Empire around this whole area. It's very, very hard for Finem to try and pull off any funky stuff around this half of the map.
Yeah, it spotted out a couple of charges coming in from MNT, so they knew when they had to get back it's going to spot another one. Like Ramses is just not going to be able to die because of this. He just backs up. Oh, not a range for the glimpse either.
Actually, look, 2 TPs coming in for the side as well. They might want to try and fight this Empire. If Finem stick about, but sure Finem will realize with the movement that indeed the charge was spotted, and they'll be a little bit more careful about trying to go for an opening from that kind of angle again on the map, because it's, as we saw there, it's just not going to work. Ramses is going to play it safe every time, and the backup will always be there from Empire.
Yeah, at some point I kind of have to wonder if they were ever going to try to de-ward that side of the map. Might not be worth it though. They don't really have much in the way of like support gold, so investing the sentries can be a bit costly. And defending that offlane tier 1, we've talked about that tower at length. It's just not very useful on the Radiant side.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, push charge onto Miposhka, but again at this point MNT not willing to dive towers. Trying to keep the side of Empire on their toes, make sure that they don't come too far across out of the map. Top lane, Ramsey's getting a bit of space to lay down onto this tier 1 tower here, and we'll see what he's able to achieve here. One more push of the wave in, and should be able to finish that one off, get a bit more money into the bank of this gyrocopter. Which is looking pretty good indeed, but it's a close matchup between the Gyro, the Wind Ranger and the Slark, all sitting pretty much on that 4.2k part of the net worth. So we're going to be going for the Aghanims first on the Wind Ranger by the looks of it, and at Finem. Need to form some kind of defense top, but at the same time we've got Afterlife and Scandal coming in. You can see something kick off big on this top line.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a dead Spirit Breaker.
Now let's see if they want to use the straight up chrono. What's the plan from Afterlife? He's starting to play with it. It's a nice bash here. Another one could do the job here. Try and close in, not wanting to commit the chrono. Time walking in, the finger. Oh, King R. Himself a freebie, and the fact that they get the tier 1 here as well. Empire finding the objectives. They still have that chrono, lasso and cooldown available. None of them needing to be used for that pickle.
Yeah, that was some really nice patience actually coming in from Afterlife. I think a lot of players would have just dumped the sphere on them to make sure you get the kill. But now if they want, they can like kind of wrap around, go for mid. They can just leave somebody up here to farm if they want, because they didn't, like, not even using lasso means the Empire can just keep going for pressure. They don't have to necessarily back off. And since the Disruptor still doesn't even have Static Storm, I mean, they won't know that until he shows again, but it is still a pretty solid timing here for Empire.
Now let's see what they're able to do with this as well. I mean, Ramses is mid. See if anything kind of kicks off around this area. Bounty just making his way on the rounds. Top lane Scandal and Afterlife. And we're going back up to see if they can catch anyone, but already the TP out is there. Bottom lane, they got the vision on to Miposhka. Power shot. Seal the deal. And actually done there from Thug, and Empire have actually come in. Sort of TPs in towards the mid lane from King R. But they're staying themselves out of this one. Not wanting to fight without the full 5-man. Just playing it safe for the time being. 12.5 minutes in, 3 for 3. Slightly favourable farm now on Abfinin with their 2 cores sitting in the 5k bracket, whereas Scandal on the Batrider is a little bit behind, but it's still ever so close in this deciding match.
Yeah, we haven't really seen the track come into play just yet, coming in from Empire, so, you know, Miposhka just hit his 6. Probably going to see a smoke rotation of some kind, I would imagine, with the Scandal having that Blank Dagger available. I mean, they even have Spheres, so I would like to see them make some kind of movement. Maybe they want Finger before they go, or maybe they just want the Bounty Hunter to play some aggressive wards and invis before they try to go for a smoke as well.
Alright, getting some vision out on this lower part of the map could be pretty big for the side of Empire.
Yeah.
Madara...
I mean,
sorry?
No, I was going to say, essentially they only have vision towards top, which...
Yeah.
Not really super useful considering their current position.
Madara's nearly got his Shadow Blade though. No, he's 400 away from that one in Empire now. They're just going to go for the smoke. Straight up, they've got the ult, they've got the potential to fight. They're trying to bait with Ramses here. See how this one pulls off. You can see they're already apping him, they are interested. Got 4 heroes gravitating around this mid lane, but at the same time it feels like they're kind of aware that something's up. Already backing off. MNT is going to be scoured and they'll lead in with the lasso. Controlling the space cow, the big glimpse back, but nonetheless, could they get him down? No! Oh, that finger! I must have literally just come back off cooldown as well.
Yeah, I think it did.
Oh man, that range. Really, really nice little pick off there for the line.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, I mean, Finem can't really afford to give away a whole lot here in the early game. Always have to be really scared of the picking potential the Empire has.
Oh, here we go, bringing back Miposhka, and Finem will find a kill in return.
It's something.
One down. I mean, there's a charge coming
Oh,
from
they can maybe get another glimpse here in a couple of seconds. Okay, they're not going to go for it. Or are they?
So I've got to still respect the power of Empire's team fight. Zara's jumping in. King R being focused down. MNT with a charge straight onto the Batrider here. They're moving in the cooldown, trying to hold them off. He'll connect onto 2. And she's now with the flat cannon. Vacuum on wall drop. King R needs to be careful. Now here, MNT throwing it up. They really hate this. They really hate the Spirit Breaker. They've killed him twice in a row now. And they'll get themselves out again. Looks like they'll lose nothing in return. And Empire certainly with the power now. After taking down 1. And this is going quite well as well for the win range for the side of Finem. You know, amongst all this chaos, she's still finding the farm, and she is just one component away from finishing off that Aghanim Scepter here, though.
Yeah, he's 3-0, so he's got a tremendous amount of farm at this early stage. It's just, you know, going back to the Spirit Breaker, it's really frustrating to play it against this lineup because there's so many things that can actually interrupt your charge. Getting like randomly Shuriken toss, Contract, Flame Break, Hex, Impale, Chronosphere. Like it's very difficult for him to stay on a target. And I guess you could say that a lot of it has to do with, you know, just the vision from the charge is what you want, because that way you can reliably glimpse, and that's what they utilized when they were fighting near the river. But later the game goes, you're gonna kind of want your Spirit Breaker to be able to lock somebody down. And I feel like it's gonna be really difficult for MNT to do that.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, considering the heroes that Empire got. Absolutely. Mech. Adam for Dark says, I think that they're certainly starting to get their strength up with these items, ready for the team fight. In return, for lads, for Afterlife, side of Empire, and Finem just trying to look to take this tier 1 up on the top lane for the time being. Empire putting the pressure in on mid. They might be able to get this tier 1 back from the start of the Radiant, so it could be a straight tier 1 for tier 1 trade. We'll see who's going to be the first to react. This will give the goal for Thug to finish off the Aghanims. Already TP's coming out mid, so Finem, they want to try and hold on to this tier 1 in the mid lane. Scandal. The Firefly jumps in, gets a lasso up onto Disruptor. It's got the cooldown with the bashes as well. He's going to go on the backlines. Maybe next time came in, gets hexed up, the stun to follow through as well. And the finger once more, King R. On a killing spree now, this Lion. Fight to the power shot, not going to catch anyone. There's actually a buyback here from the Spirit Breaker. But Empire themselves too, and they get themselves out. Very nicely done.
Yeah, dealing a sizable amount of economic damage there. Spirit Breaker having to spend, like, he lost 413 gold, I think, because of the buyback included with his death. And they get nothing from it. You know, they're not able to counter pressure a tower. They're not pushing top, they're not pushing bottom. It was just like a... I don't even know if you call it a panic buyback. I think they just wanted to try to fight and it didn't work out, so now all of a sudden they're just a little bit farther behind. And again, the 2 lowest net worth heroes, we've seen this constantly in this series. With the team that doesn't have Bounty Hunter, their supports are just broke.
And we can see now as well, Empire, they are not ready to take their foot off the pedal. They want to go for more. They want to keep the heat on and really just jumping on Finem. Finem themselves, though, they are smoking up as well. We're going to see a smoke on smoke here on the top lane. But Poshka is going to dispel it here with the Invis. The charge run to Ramses. He's just going to cool down out of time. He needs backup, but he needs it quick. Ramses getting bashed up, will get taken down. That's a big damage source eliminated from the fight. They're still going to try and come in the shackle onto King R. Power shot through as well. Madara jumps in. Find themselves a second afterlife. Gets off the chrono. Onto 2. Will finish off the disruptor on the sidelines. But they need more. They're fighting with just 3 and make that 2 now. Empire has to back themselves out of this one because this time it's the side of Finem coming out on top. 3-for-1 trade and really nicely done. They just take Ramses out of the fight at the start. Does get a cooldown off, but just removing that Gyrocopter just greatly stunts the amount of physical damage that Empire can throw into like the Chronosphere and do in these team fights.
Well, it's not even just physical damage, it's magic as well. Like, Call down and a Rocket Barrage or somebody that's on, like, the outside of the sphere, it's nothing to shake a stick at. Like, you lose a lot of your early game DPS, mainly because Gyrocopter doesn't transition into a heavy right clicker until he has 3 or 4 items. And unfortunately for Ramsey, he's only sitting on the SMY right now, which is still a valuable pickup, but it's obviously not going to offer the same kind of damage like an MKB, for example, which he won't get until a little bit later down the road. So all things considered, Finem looking pretty solid here. Their 2 cores remain the highest net worth by a fairly wide margin. Now it's getting a little bit bigger after the last fight, but still, you know, Empire, they got the bounty, they got some pretty, like, well, I should say really good team fight, just mainly because of the Chronosphere plus the call down factor. And their initiation is also good, so still much more Dota to be played here.
It really, really is. Absolutely. And again, it's the same in every single game of the series. Really kind of back and forth action. Both teams playing at such a similar level. It really is right up until the end. You never know who's going to take it. You never know who's going to be able to claim this series as their own. As we see again, who's going to go for the play at Sentry though, indeed. Just slightly off that one will catch it though. They will find the D ward. An Empire starting to kind of build some kind of a formation around this Roshan pit. Alright, I have a little bit of lag by the looks of it.
Looks like it's only Empire. Hopefully they're not having some issues. They all DC'd earlier.
They did have issues earlier, yeah. I think that was a power outage apparently.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not having some like ISP carrier problems now too. That would be unfortunate, considering it's like the last game as well. Okay, it looks like they're good. What was I gonna say? Ah, yeah, about the Slark. The nice thing about having that hero on your team is obviously he grants he knows where vision is depending on when his ultimate is on or off. So like if you walk past an area that's warded, you get a free D ward. That's something too that we haven't really touched on with the Slark, even in the whole 5-game series. It's just the ability to maintain control of the map by getting guaranteed D wards. You know, it's like having a Zeus on your team but better.
Yeah, and they're using it to its strength there. Absolutely up them.
I mean, if you look at the map, they have all the vision and Empire have none. So
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so one word, sorry. Script spotted the top one.
Oh, here we have it now. Blink Dagger picked up for Thug, so with the Phase Blink and Aghanim Scepter, he can certainly cut into any of the members of Empire that he manages to get a latch on. But with the Shadow Blade leading forward, Miposhka's already there posed. Just to check out what's going on. The vision here for the charge. Actually, just going to be Spirit Breaker. He's heading up to the top. Actually holds back. And again, Madara just with that positioning on the Silver Edge, just creating havoc here for Empire as the pings come through. Empire, they know that Finem are around. And it will be Ramses, of course, trying to work his way towards that BKB. He's got the Ogre Club done and 1100 gold on top of the Sanjin Yasha. And once he does have that BKB, I mean, he's still going to be wary of the punches, of course, from the Slark and the Wind Ranger, as they can still cut him down, but it's going to be a big power play, getting that online as soon as he can, especially just to get the Disruptor, and of course just getting some of the damage as well from the Darks here, with all these Iron Shells, as we can see, just being thrown onto the Spirit Breaker, onto the Slark, onto the frontliners. Now the smoke.
It's even still useful just against like not getting pounced or the Spirit Breaker charge, and you know, another strike not really dealing damage to you. But we are going to see the smoke here from Finem, kind of looping around. It looks like Afterlife is going to be the only person they really see. This is a difficult kill though. Maybe they can do it if they like shackle into a storm.
Yeah,
or
as I
charge
said,
him.
the control for the Disruptor might be enough. So what they have, already time what used. He does have a Chronosphere. Shackle won't connect, but he's not going to be able to play his way out of this one. Nether Strike to the face from the Spirit Breaker will take the Void down. And immediately after him, just TPing back. They know that they need to be around that Roshan pit. They get themselves immediately back to the tier 2 on the bottom lane, to the tier 1 on the mid, so that they can come and check what's going on and make sure they don't get away with this one. Scandal might find himself a lasso, and he does. Madara comes in to check it out, but he gets brought back. The control's there. The cooldown is going to hit onto 3. The stun as well for the line. The finger to finish off the slug. MNT's going to go down as well. And now Empire moving in for more. The Static Storm and the Kinetic Field won't quite trap Ramsey. He'll get glimpsed back, but he's already managed to find himself 3 with the help of Scandal. They'll try and turn it with a power shot. The focus fire as well, but he's got to blink himself away, Thug. They're only the last 2 remaining on the side of Finem, and Empire jumping in for more. Now Scandal blinking in, getting the napalm down onto Spartan. He's a goner. Ramses is there with the cleanup kill, and Empire, what it just kind of goes off the back at Madara going into the pit on the Slark. The Lasso's there. They all kind of try and run up into the high ground to help him, but the one more combat, you're just laying down that cooldown, and Finem are just absolutely ripped to pieces.
Yeah, it wasn't really the best engagement. Fighting in the choke point didn't do them any favors at all. Just ends up with a better initiation. Obviously having a Batrider is going to help a lot in that regard, so Empire take a pretty sizable win. not able to really get anything huge off of it. They get the tier 1, but at the end of the day, Roshan still stands. I don't know if any team is really going to be prioritizing that super early. I mean, maybe at Finem just because they have a Wind Ranger, and it's a little bit easier for them to take him down because of the high physical damage and single target, but... Alright, we're going for the re-smoke here. This is still, like, all they used was Finger. They still have Chronosphere. They still have, like, Lasso and whatnot. This is a really scary smoke, I think.
I don't know, they'll usually get a ward up here. Oh. Ping pong here from the side. Wrapping him. This smoke. Apparently they can't set up anything up here, but of course Empire, they're still going to be aware that stuff's going around on this area of the map, and they are there. Ramses got a very tasty looking ancient stack. We'll be able to clean up soon. Obviously he has that BKB complete as well, so the next fight, it's going to be very, very hard for them to take down this gyrocopter. Ramsey's having a very, very good game at the moment. 4-2-7 and more ancients in the bank here for the gyrocopter. Ramses can start to work towards his first big damage item.
Yeah, I wonder if he just goes... He hasn't gone for lifesteal yet, so I'm kind of curious if he wants to go back for it. Just because I think having Satanic or just even a Helmet of the Dominator is super value on
the
this
they've
hero,
got the Vlads on the Void. Like, you could see that as enough, do you think? Or do you think it's still just worth getting the extra?
I mean, the reason why you buy Dom is because it builds into Satanic, and also you can do self-stacking, which I think is really good for Gyro, so you don't have to commit a support to like always going to the Ancients every 1 minute when you're trying to like do something else on the map. But if he goes for the damage route, it's probably just going to be straight up MKB. Because Sark will eventually get Butterfly. MKB is great against the evasion of the Wind Ranger too, so those are my two choices, either Dom or MKB.
And we'll see what goes to as he starts to amount this money back up, 1500. Going for a quick scan here. Just potentially to check for any kind of smoke movements or anything coming up across the river. There's nothing going to be detected here for the time being. Still, we're noting the Madara Slark very much keeping up with the farm of this Gyro that has been fed these ancient stacks. 2-on-5, it's got 1700 across the top of the Silver Edge and the Yasha. Well, we're actually going to see a charge in. MNT, nah, he's not going to commit for that. Doesn't really got any follow-up. Yep. Can't afford to go too yellow at this moment of the game. There's so much at stake here for both of these teams. Empire, they're going to be the ones to try and kick something off. Smoke up and ready to go down the mid lane. The line's being drawn. Let's see if they can get the lead ons. On the front lines, they're going to need a big chrono. Afterlife. A lot of pings coming out, and this could work out for happening because they are relatively split up across the map. Or they might find Madara, and that's a big one as well. He's got to react quickly. Pounces away. Scandal trying to get himself close. The Static Storm holding the back. Ramsey's still moving forward. They'll just turn around. They'll take themselves a disruptive kill. But not quite quick enough off the mark there to deal with the Slark. And I think Finem will be happy that they got out of that one just with losing that disruptor.
Yeah, it was a nice little sacrificial play there from Spartan, just saying, alright, take me instead. I don't want you to get the fish. And in this time, you know, even if they're losing Roshan, they're still punishing a bit. They're going for the tier 2 in the safe lane. Empire will probably have to immediately TP back to address these pushes, and they might even have time to go mid, actually. This is taking a long time for Empire to actually take down this rush.
Yeah, it's not the quickest of rushes, but nonetheless, they will get it done. And then they will have that Aegis. I imagine on, of course, Ramsey's ready for the next fight. There we have it. Straight up to the top. Continue the farm. Clear out the waves. Get the momentum going back round on this top lane. He's sitting on 3k gold. It is getting better and better for the side of Empire. At Finem, they still need to try and find some big kind of play. Maposhka, I believe he's got that mechanism done. And he's got the headdress on the courier. So it's a mech now done on the Bounty Hunter, ready for the next time Empire want to try and go in for some action.
And that's another thing to look forward to, I guess, for their lineup when they already have pretty solid team fight. I mean, Ad Finem can fight the 5v5s, but I think their lineup is a bit more execution heavy, because you have to really focus the person who gets charged down to make sure that the charge actually becomes valuable in some way.
Slark's only got his BKB out. I mean, this is obviously going to help him a lot when he's trying to fight against Ramsey's gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just playing around, obviously, the Lion, you know, we've seen each and every time King are getting some huge fingers out.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because most of the time a Lion will sit with his ulti off cooldown for a little while before they go to fight, but it seems like King R was just so good at making sure that he was always at the engagement just as his ultimate came off cooldown. It happened like 2 or 3 times in a row. It's pretty crazy stuff to see, but yeah. This Lion pick is doing quite a bit of work for them. Only 1 death as well.
Yeah, 4-1-5. He's had a really, really nice game. It really, really has. And Ether Lens, 1100 gold on top of it towards that Blink Dagger. While lane, Madara getting the push on and has got that money for the BKB to be complete. And then we have it on its way out, but Empire do manage to find that tier 2 in the mid lane, and that is more money going the way of Ramses, now sitting on 4.3k on top of the BKB, and still with that Aegis ready for a fight.
I'm really curious as to what he's saving for. Is he just saving for full MKB? I know in the past some gyrocopters have upped good things like Scotty as well, which I do think is still a pretty decent choice, but just having some True Strike for the Wind Ranger is really, really good. Especially considering the fact that Thug now has a 10-second BKB. So like all your magic damage is going to be negated. If you don't have some method of True Strike, you're just not going to be able to deal with the Wind Ranger.
Spawn here.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he was hiding in the trees, but Scandal had the vision. Bam! Shuriken and Flame Break will do it, and that's a... Oh, it's a track kill. It may just be a disruptor, but it is a track kill.
Yeah, I mean, supports still give away a lot of money regardless of track 2. Afterlife? It's gonna be fine, looks like. Just able to time leap away. But it still feels like Finem have yet to really establish like full map control. They did a pretty good job in the early game of applying some pressure, but now it just seems like between the gyrocopter having a ridiculous amount of farm. He's actually going back for Butterfly, by the way. He's not going MPB just yet. But yeah, I mean, Finem are looking for any kind of opportunity, but they're gonna need Thug, I think, to get 1 more damage item out before they're feeling super confident.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what it needs is what Crystallis as the next pickup, just so he's got a bit of deeps.
He might actually go back for MKB after seeing Ramses with the Eagle Song, or he could also go for the magic damage route and just opt for like a Maelstrom if he wants a cheap option. Just depends. Because this build that he's doing is actually not super common anymore. Normally it's like the Maelstrom replaces the Aghanims, and then you have extra money to go for another damage item after, or then you make Aghanims after the Maelstrom. It's not very meta to do Slasher's way anymore.
Mid lane, Ramses, as we see coming out to push, he is fairly low in health, but just have that Aegis. On the high ground, Scandal looking for the jump in, pops the BKB with the blink reaction. So there's just the bounce away. I mean, he was so quick on that Madara, jumping away. Getting himself out of harm's way. I mean, Scandal, he was so close to getting that latch on.
Yeah, these are the types of situations where you're happy that your carry player is super young, super fast reactions, you know? Just get the heck out of there. But still, Empire feeling in a pretty dominant position. They're not scared, they're moving across the map. They got the tier 2 safe lane in their sights, and we'll see if Finem actually want to try to defend this, because it feels more than a little risky right now to take a fight like that.
It really does. It really, really does, and we can see what they'll do in response to this. This bottom lane push from Empire, it's going to be a smoke and an attempt to wrap round. Let's see what they can find with this one. They'll take the tier 2 Empire. Still hanging around this area of the map. Watch with the invis might actually spot us down. In fact, Finem actually not coming down here by the looks of it for the time being. Look at this, is why Empire prepared for this. Vision as well with this one here, but obviously still under the cover of the smoke. They're going to be fine. Now the Aegis has gone from Ramses. They're coming in now, the smoke being dispelled. Skylark's there, gets the vacuum off him, a posture. Ramses looking for an opening. Let's start to focus on Skylark and pop the creep, but look at Skylark just found the damage on Ramses falling enough to find that kill. Scandal gets the last off onto Thug and Afterlife. With the Chrono controlling Thug and Madara here. They'll get themselves a double kill for Ramses. They need Ramses to come and help down to the south, and here he comes. Turning into the fight, Thug blinks away, trying to take down Afterlife with a focus fire, but he just does not have enough damage. Scandal, he managed to cancel the TBS spawn with the flame break. At the same time, Ramses just chasing down the rest of them. He's found a triple kill on the gyrocopter. Scandal ended up finishing off Spartan on the disruptor. Madara He's actually trying to come in the punches, jumps himself away, tracks out homing missile as well, going to force Madara back to the base to buy back from Skylark. But now Empire, they're knocking on your doors, and as we can see, 3.6k gold going the way of them, thanks to that fight, and thanks to the fact that they've got that bounty onto Skylark. Nice vacuum wall onto force. Good, actually, he hasn't got the wall at the moment. The wall's still on cooldown, and without that, there's just no follow-up to the vacuum. Skylark getting fast. It's another kill for Ramses. Madara, he's trying to get himself out, but he's got the vision with the track. They'll get themselves another one. Charging from MNC, they're just throwing bodies to Empire, trying their best, but Ramsey's just sitting there, chunking into the lineup. He's gonna find MNC, gets himself a triple kill. They'll finally shut him down. But Empire finding a hell of a lot from that one. They get the melee racks as well, only losing the jar off the back of it, but Ramsey's found so much amongst the action there. This is looking pretty rocky now for Finem. 2 key buybacks on cooldown as well, Andy.
It was just an insane amount of damage that the Gyrocopter was able to do in these fights. Like, he's just getting every single one of his flat cannon hits off, hitting multiple targets, just standing in range the whole time. With the butterfly, you know, nobody on the side of Finem has anything to deal with that yet. That's why we were discussing like the option of things like MKB. But the Slark can't make it that early in his item progression, and I think the earliest time that Thug can make it is after what he currently has, which is like a 4th item. Pretty common, but gonna see the Shackle not latch here. Nice blink away there from Scandal.
Oh!
Oh, what the? Oh. That was Ether Lens, right? Yeah, okay. That was a super long range finger.
These are some beautiful fingers. They really are. Each and every one of them. Oh. Vision onto Madara. Afterlife coming in. He has got that chrono. We'll jump forward. Oh. Thinking about
too far.
Yeah, Madara just speedy enough with the bit of invis to get himself out. And we'll see how hard Empire want to go down the mid lane. I think after the back of what we saw on the bottom, there's no reason for them to hold off. They are in a very, very strong position at the moment. And we'll see how much they want to use it. I mean, 3k coming up on Ramses. He is 3,500 net worth ahead of the Slark this game. He has had an absolute whale of a time on the Gyrocopter.
Oh, that Roshan's so fast too. That's going to help Empire a ton. They already have a hero kind of sitting in the area, so Afterlife is going to go like to check the rune, I think, and then when he checks the rune, he might just instinctively go to Roshan and see that it's going to be up. And that could be Empire's hint to go. Oh, he's not going to check the rune. They're going to go for a smoke instead.
There we go, smoke time. They're going to pop it, get themselves here onto the side in the trees.
Oh, this is like so lucky. Double damage. OP.
Oh, you are damn right here, Andy. They're charging on Afterlife. Little do they know that Roshan is falling at a pretty impressive rate here to the side of Empire. Planet. What is the planet for Finem? They certainly need one. It's getting harder and harder here. They're really going to be fighting an uphill battle.
I think he can just buy full Satanic as well. Like, I don't think he needs to save money. Because like, if he gets Satanic, he has what, like 2,600 health? Yeah, okay, there we go. I think he just bought the recipe on the courier. Yeah, it's going to be coming out. So this is going to be Satanic, Butterfly, SNY, BKB Gyro in just like 37 minutes. His net worth is just ridiculous.
Here we have it. Here we go, Empire. Ready with the high ground siege here. Game fight 22 to 10. They'll get a Shackle to lead in from Thug. Fortification already coming out. Empire slowly whittling away at this tier 3. They need to do something big. Madara coming in on the back line. They're kicking on the back to the wall. They're taking down the line. Now eyes on to Afterlife. The telescope come out. And MNC looking for the nether strike, but he's gone. They have on the point. There's a buyback from King R here. Madara with the BKB. So's Ramses though, fighting into Skylark. Skylark's got to run. He's got to hide, but he gets... Oh no! He just manages to survive there. The glimpse back, bringing the Jara away from the Darkseer. Just surviving in time, and as we can see from the money and the numbers, that was good enough of a defense for Finem to be smiling.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice hold, actually. I didn't think they were going to be able to hold that at all. Like, they went in with the lasso, and at that point, it's like, okay, maybe they pull a hero out, isolate him, get the kill. But Thug, he never ends up going down. Living through the engagement means that he'll be a lot closer to finishing off the MKB now.
Madara, let's see what I can find here. He has that haste and silver edge, but not Getting the opening, what's King actually blinking in? Still, you need to be careful. They've got the glimpse back here onto King R. King R, it's going to be a dead man for the second time. Oh, the finger not quite enough to kill Spartan. To line down for a full minute. An Empire. Be careful not to give away anything more here, because Finem are really finding the flow. They are going to have the Afterlife back up in the void in 10 seconds. He does still have that Chronosphere. But I'm sure Finem will be smart enough to play around it. They'll take themselves a tier 2, but they want to try and go in for more. There'll be a glimpse of them in Poshka, Static Storm as well, but here we go on the back line. Scandal finds himself the lasso onto Thug. Thug being dragged into the middle of it all. MNT's actually coming as well, and Thug will beat the win run. Gets himself out. MNT trying to charge himself away, but the Shuriken bounce is there, and they'll chase this down. They will find it at the same time. Face this void, finding the kill onto Disruptor. Didn't even need to use the Chronosphere for that one, just the chase down. More than enough to find themselves a second kill. Empire, see how much they want to go for now. They've still got that Chronosphere. Cooldown, of course, back up in 20 seconds. They want to make as much use as they can of Ramses' Aegis. But without any further ado, back down the middle lane they go. 20 seconds for the full 5-man's back up indeed. The Slark, Dara just picking up the MKB. Windrange as well, looking for an MKB herself. 2.5k gold on top of the Demon Edge. And Empire to the high ground. Tier 3 down and now onto the second set of racks. They've already cleared out bottom. They'd love to clear out the mid lane. Looking for focused fire, but as you can see for the Solar Crest, Ramsey's taking minimal damage. As Viposhka's laid it down at him, Madara, he could be out in time. Dark patches off the Hex online and actually trying to man fight, but the Chrono controlling him. And now the sidelines is a 4-man vacuum wall, but Ramses continues to get the damage off. The track down to Madara, he's got to get himself out. Will be able to pounce away. Afterlife. Chase Thug. Yeah, attacked by this void. Spartan's been ripped back in. They'll find one. Looking for the nether strike. Afterlife puts the man. There's a finger from King R to finish it. And now the Hex onto MNT. They'll find themselves a third. Buy back from Thug. So now, here we go with the lasso onto Madara. Ramsey's laying in the damage onto this Slark. Slark's gone 100 seconds now. And Empire looking to close this one up. Finish off the series. Looking to find their way to the Manila Major. And they may just have done it here. It's all team white. Finem in an incredibly rocky position, and GG is called. Empire are the victors here of the European region, and what a fashion to do it in. An incredible performance there. The whole series from both teams, but Afterlife, Ramsey, Scandal, King R and Viposhka, they'll be going forward to Manila. They do it with a game where Ramses returns to his roots, gets himself on the gyrocopter, and what a showing he gives us as well. 14-3-13.